2007 here at the Texas Motorplex. Kenny Bernstein and John Force going side by side. Little did they know what was in store at the end of the drag strip. John Force's car disintegrated, slammed into Kenny Bernstein. John Force seriously injured. A long recovery. So with that kind of thing at the top of your mind, and the fact that John Force has 3 daughters racing, how does he feel about that? Is it really worth the risk?
I don't believe that it's going to happen. Because if so, then I ain't worth nothing. Because I believe that what we're doing is making these cars better and safer.
Well, we sit and we talk with them. And it's their choice, ultimately. But I think they have faith that their dad is going to put them in the safest car that he can.
You take a kid like Dean Antonelli. I was so upset over Ashley. And he said, John, I tuned her car. I knew her since she was a baby, running around the shop, and we wiped her runny nose. You don't think I fear for her? And I said, well, then where do you come from, Guido? Where you run that car, where is your fear? He said, the fear is that we do everything we can to make them safe. And when we saw that we didn't feel they weren't, you spent money, everybody worked, and that's why we came back, because we believed it was better. But we never believed we could stop the problem. I said, well, how are we going to live with it? He said, quit? I said, maybe I ought to quit. Maybe I ought to take my kids home. I got plenty of money. Maybe I ought to take my kids home and create other businesses. And you know what Guido said to me? He said, I lost my little sister. She was 19 years old. He about made me cry. I didn't know it. 19 years old. My mom and I come home. She was killed in a car wreck. In a car she loved and that she wanted. Now he said, what do you do? Never let your kids have a car? Yeah, but these are 300 miles. John, think about what you're saying. If we do everything we can to keep them safe, then that's all we can do. So at the end of the day, I want to make it clear, my children, nothing's worth them, nothing. I mean, if God walked in right today and said, somebody's got to go, you wouldn't have to ask me twice. I'd walk right out that door with him, okay? Because my children are my whole life. Them I will die for. And I won't say that about anybody, okay? And that's how it ought to be.
Well, think about that, Mike. John Force and Robert Hyde be up right after this pair, but what if you have a son or daughter?
Well, I mean, I do have a son and daughter, and if they wanted to race, I mean, I wouldn't push them into it. Like my dad didn't push it in with me into it, but if they showed a desire, I would help them out any way I could.